right, guys, this is the complete construction of a timber frame barn. Behind me is the barn I built. I built it out of round timbers made of hemlock. I built it all by myself. I literally didn't have any help with this, and I wanted to make this video to inspire you guys to do the same if you want to. This video is a compilation of an 11-part series that I made here on YouTube. If you haven't seen it, please check it out. Watch the whole thing. I think you're gonna get a lot out of this, and it was a really fun build for me. If you have already seen this series, check out the first comment in the description. I'm really proud of what we built here. So without any further ado, the complete construction of my timber frame barn. Not good. Oh my God.
I'm gonna clean the other one after that. Nice and lubricated.
Here's my pile of timbers. I think it went pretty smooth. We got everything off the trailer and didn't make too big of a mess, so I don't know, with any luck, the next thing I need to do is peel these and then, oh, how's the wind? Terrible, probably. Try to figure out how to build a building out of them, so stick around. All right, so yeah, listen, don't judge a guy by the size of his tractor. It worked out just perfect. Now that I have my hemlock logs, it is time to start cutting the joints. Probably my favorite part of this build. So you'll see I'm just using a combination of this cheap hatchet and a draw knife. Pull it towards you, and I think these bigger logs tend to peel a little easier, but basically I'm just trying to get up under there and peel. Pretty much all there is to it. This hatchet seems to work good for these ones that peel a little easier. You get some junk on the end like that. Get your draw knife out. Just take care of it. Easy. Let's go. Oh, okay, Mr. Blue, that's what we needed. Okay, cool. I ended up opting to get the pegs, the oak pegs. I got them from Timber Frame HQ just because I don't know how to make them and I didn't really want to spend the time making them. There they are. Sweet. I think there's like 50 of them in here. And they're waxed, so that's slick. Oh, baby. This is a 1-inch drill bit, 18 inches long, and then these are 25 millimeter pegs. So they're pretty darn close to 1 inch, I gotta believe. I mean, it's hard to make for like $1 a piece. You know, I didn't really want to spend the time making those. So sweet. So the frame turned out amazing. I really couldn't be happier with it. The look of this thing is just like, it's really awesome. And you can still see it on the inside of the barn, but it needed just a little bit of bracing on the outside to get it a little more rigid. This is a tall frame, and just a little extra support would make me very comfortable. Things are getting a little dicey. I don't know. I'm alone, so I just don't feel comfortable up there. Okay, so at this point, you know, the majority of the timber frame is up, what I'm gonna use for logs. The next thing I have to do is put the roof on. And for my, I guess you'd call them joists, my roof bracing, I'm not making trusses, but you'll see I'm gonna do a ridge beam with some joists going over. The first thing I wanna do is, because I marked the inside, I know the center of all these posts, so I kind of have an invisible square / rectangle. I want to do the whole top of the frame with this 2x6 material. This is rough cut, so it's kind of heavy and wet, but it's also pretty darn strong, and the thickness is a lot better than what you would find at the hardware store. And I know my center is going this way, the width of it is 151, so I think what I'm gonna do is actually put some 45s on there and make a nice square that I can then build my roof off of. Then I don't have to scribe every single rafter, and you know, it's just gonna take a little less time. Let's cut this and nail it in place. I'm using 4-inch, they're actually called pole barn nails. They're kind of like ribbed, so they don't come out as easily, and they're galvanized. So I'll probably tack it with my framing nailer and then hammer it down with those things. These things are going in a lot easier and more accurate than I kind of suspected. This one's a little short, but that's okay because I can make it up over here, about a ½ inch off. This is all gonna be supported. Windows are gonna go on these big ends. I'm just getting this, I guess I can call this like a sill. So I'm getting this up first, laser iron some of it here. Once this is all in there, we'll brace it up and then figure out what we wanna do for the roof. None of this is planned, I'm just kind of going for it. Oh, it's been a while since I swung a hammer. If you have ideas for the roof, leave it in the comments, let me know. I'm not pretending to be an expert at this, so. It's 4-inch nails, baby. All right. I'm excited about, man, these timbers are pretty darn nice. It's hemlock, in case you're wondering. Hemlock is better for structural stuff, and you'll see I'm gonna do the outside with pine because that's gonna be a little more weather resistant. This one's bang on. Bang on. That one's maybe a ½ inch off, but it's all good. It's a workout. It's also making it, oh, look at that. I can barely move that. So it's making it a lot more structurally sound. Not that it wasn't in the first place, but if a little is good, more is better, right? All right, it's been just pouring rain here lately, so I haven't, the past couple of days I didn't tape anything, but here's what I've done. Up there, you can see that I finished the top rail, like you saw earlier, and then I had some leftover, so I just put in some 45-degree braces. I just feel like they can't hurt, you know? And then what I've been working on this morning is this top deck. This is gonna be like the mezzanine area, I guess you'd call it. So this is all gonna be a floor. One side of the barn is gonna be the height of the thing, so 12 feet plus whatever we get off the peak. And then the other one, I want to floor at 8 foot where these cross pieces go. So I figured before I go up and do all the rafters and all the roof support, I should just put this floor in. It'll give me something to stand on because this thing's getting rather tall. You can see I've just got some rough cut I picked up yesterday, and it's been raining, so this stuff is super heavy. 2x6s is what I'm still using. And then I've got some 1 by, I think it's 10 inch for the floorboards. As always, I've got some help here. You helping? You're helping? Good boy. So at this point, I'm going to put in some joists. We're calling them joists every 24 inches, and it's starting to rain again. So son of a, it drives me crazy. All right, so I've got all the joists in. I just want to, 1, 2, 3, these middle 3 joists, you can see it racks a little bit back and forth. So I'm just gonna put a couple, just some blocking in, just to pin it down to this cross piece and give it a little more support over the span of it. So I don't know, it should work. This thing, this thing is really pretty cool. Solid. Yeah, that's gonna do exactly what I wanted it to do. I think it'd be fine without it, but what the heck, you know? We got enough wood kicking around, we might as well throw a few in. And I'm really not worried about the weight. I don't know if that's a thing. Out of bullets. All right, now the fun part. We're gonna put some decking on this mezzanine. I've got some just, again, rough cut pine, 1 inch by I think it's 10 inches wide. I just got what my truck could handle, which isn't a ton, but we'll start with that. We're running out of time this morning anyway. You'll see I'm gonna leave a lip on this side, probably 2 inches, because I want, I'm gonna put a set of stairs in here eventually. Probably right here, you know. They'll probably be a little steep, but that's fine. So let's start decking. I'm still using framing nails just because this stuff is so big, but Milwaukee nailer's working out like a dream, baby.
A new home for a while, let me feel alive. Nothing to hold me back, take my time, just enjoy the ride. I know man, passing by, life is good, best I've ever felt. Get me up, something new, somewhere I can find myself. Oh, I feel
I'm sure you've noticed, and if you haven't, go back and watch it, but as I'm working on this mezzanine, you could see, when I was sawing off that beam, you could see the whole frame just kind of shaking a little bit, and that, I kind of expected that. There's a couple reasons for it. One is because I have all the weight at the very top of this thing. It's 12 feet tall. 2, because my mortise and tenons are a little sloppy, and Mostly I did that because I'm putting this thing together by myself. So I knew I needed a little bit of play to make it happen. Actually 3, I planned on bracing this thing every 6 feet. So 1, 2, 3 braces with wind braces, and that's going to give it structural stability, and it's also going to give me something to nail the siding into. A lot of times, like at your house, one of the things that keeps it from racking, like you saw this racking, is the sheeting on the side of the house. So that plywood kind of stabilizes everything and keeps it from swaying back and forth. So just because I'm doing this in the order as my materials are available, I'm going to end up putting the roof on after I brace it, and then the siding after that. And so we've got some more 2x4s. We're going to start the bracing process, and we're going to use big, like 5-foot wind braces. So let's get started on that. All right, so we finished up all that bracing. You'll notice I actually put some more on the top there and finished out the bottom. I just didn't want to bore you too much with that. So yeah, all the sides are braced. I think I've seen this on older barns, but I don't know what it's called. It's kind of like this octagon, no, it's 4 sides, 6 sides, whatever that's called. Or is it 8, technically? Octagonal bracing? I don't know, you see this on old barns, but it's basically like making this big giant shape, and it's crazy how much structural stability it gives it. So yeah, we knocked that out, and it's much better now. Now you're gonna see why I left all these long, because I'm gonna take my chalk line, run it along that 2x4, and it's gonna be perfect in theory. Perfect in theory, always. All right, so we picked up a whole bunch of lumber. I've got 30 2x6s, which is what I've determined I need for the rafters here. And I ended up getting just dimensional 2x6s from Lowe's. So it's 5.5 by 1.5, if you're not familiar with that. I did that for 2 reasons. These 2x6s are going to be slightly more perfect. So they're not gonna have as big of knot deformities in them like you saw in some of the rough cut I picked up. Secondly, they're half the weight, maybe even a little bit less. Because I'm 12 feet up and I'm doing this by myself, I just didn't feel too comfortable handling those big, wet, rough cut 2x6s overhead up that high. These are super light for me and it should be no problem. Those other ones, they're just a little too bulky and too heavy for me to safely do on my own. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do is we're going to cut the ridge beam pretty long here. This thing's 18 feet wide, so it's about 3 inches shy of that. So let's cut that and we'll get that into place, and then the next thing we're gonna do is cut the rafters. Thankfully I've got the mezzanine built because I'm gonna be using that quite a bit to just kind of get up there and get safely to it. Let's make a ridge beam. So the reason I'm doing a double thickness ridge beam is, well, I guess 2 reasons. 1, it's gonna be stronger. 2, I've got 12 footers here and that doesn't quite make the 18-foot span. So this is just an easy way to span that gap. All right, here's my beam you saw me make. And I made a couple of these. So this is gonna go there. My beam's gonna go on top of that. Wow, it's pretty tall. So that's gonna go in the middle. Let me secure this and then do the other side. Nice thing is we'll be able to set the beam on here and then get it up. Yes, I do need some support under this eventually. For now, I think I'll be okay. All right, here she is. So it's up there and it's pretty solid right now, but I'm going to throw a brace on there. I'm just gonna take one of these 2x6s and just brace it here so it'll not rack overnight or whatever. It's solid this way, but you can see it's got a bit of a jiggle there, so. Now, it got a little dark, so I missed the filming of this rafter, but I started cutting them. Now, I don't know how to cut them, but what I do know how to do is find a really good instructional video on how to cut them. So I will link that down below. The Perkins brothers do a great job of explaining it. Just like on my ridge beam, I have 24-inch on center marked out, and I've done the same here on my top plate. I've got probably 10 rafters cut, and now all I did is I did the first one. Took me a while to figure it out, but once I had it figured out, I saved it as my template. So that's a nice pro tip. Save that as your template, mark out the rest of them using it, you know, in a pencil, and then away you go. So this is actually a fairly quick process. It's just a matter of cutting and nailing them. So we're just gonna start at this end because it's easier. We're on a platform and move that way. By the time we get over there, bridge beam will probably be stable enough that we could put a ladder up against it and start nailing the rest of the way across. Here we go. Now, as you can see, we finished all the rafters, and they actually turned out pretty good. For this thing not being completely square, I'm actually kind of pleased on how well they turned out. This isn't all of the rafters. You can see I've got another couple cut right here, and then there's two on the other side also. Those guys are gonna go on the very ends. I don't know what you call that. That little extension, so you've got kind of the same overhang all the way around the building. I think there's probably a standard measurement for that, like a standard size for that. Because I'm kind of in the business of saving money on this, I'm just going to make mine the width that uses an even amount of roofing panels. Does that make sense? So I don't have to try to trim anything. And in my case, it's gonna be 12 on each side. I think it turns out to be 256 inches, whatever that is in feet, because the panels are a little goofy. 24-inch panels actually only cover 21.3 inches of width of roof, and they're 12 feet long, which is what my rafters are, so that's fine. So 12 panels fit, overlapping like 2 inches and all the way across. Beautiful, no extra. Let's cut those. It's pretty easy. You just make spacers and then you nail those ends on. So that's what we're doing today, and it's beautiful. It's a fall day, but you wouldn't guess it. It's gorgeous. I just, things are getting a little dicey. I don't know. It's hard. I like the way it's coming out, but it's really hard to access, and I'm alone, so I just don't feel comfortable up there. So we're gonna have to figure something else out. Okay, so I came back at this, and I think I've got it to a point where I'm comfortable getting up there. Actually, I know I am, because I did this one right here. So basically what I did is I installed this bottom purlin, so I've got a little support right there, and then I ended up putting on a couple more braces just under those spacers. So now what I can do, climb up this ladder, put the rafter on, it's gonna slide, it's gonna be on top of those braces holding it up, and then as soon as I get it in spot, I can tack it into that purlin, and then it's just a matter of climbing up that ladder and shooting nails into the whole thing. I'm gonna do this one real quick and you'll see it's a lot less sketchy. So see, I've tacked that into my purlin, and now it just sits here and tack it in place. What's nice is every time I do a little more, this thing gets a little more stable, which you're probably like, yeah, of course, but I might put in some more of these braces for that outside section of roof, just depending on how stable this is. Because I'm tying them into these purlins, I don't know, I guess I'm not married to the fact that I need more. A little dicey, but not bad. All right, folks, that's gonna do it for part 3. Purlins are up there. Everything's looking pretty good and pretty square by this point. I'm really happy with the way it turned out. Please stick around for part 4. If you're not subscribed, definitely subscribe because there's gonna be many more parts to this as we build out this barn. Any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them down below. I read all of them and I'd be happy to answer your questions or consider your comments if you've done this before. I'll also link a bunch of tools I used and some of the videos that helped me along the way. I am doing this physically by myself, but mentally I'm using a lot of stuff I find on YouTube. So thanks again. If it's your first time to the channel, welcome, and please stick around, become part of the team. Love to see it. All right, till next time, bye.
A new place, a new home, for a while, let me feel alive. Nothing to hold me back, take my time, just enjoy the ride. A new man passing by, life is good, best I've ever felt. Get me up, somewhere new, somewhere I can find myself.
Once everything was braced and the rafters were on, well, then I really needed somewhere to put these windows. These are antique windows, video link down below, that I refurbished, and so they needed a place to go. So I needed some window frames.
Oh, Susanna, don't cry for me.
That's gonna be awesome.
We had some
It'll
good
open out
years,
that way.
so
That's a perfect spot. Missed, dang it. All right, folks, morning. Man, some days I feel like I look like a proper lumberjack. Barn back there. This morning I've got a couple things I want to do. I just picked up, and I'll show you here. Swung by the lumber yard yesterday and just grabbed some more 2x4s because my next step here is to put on the siding and the roof. Siding's gonna go first, like I said in the last video. Let's see, I need some nails. The other day I went looking for some more spikes and I had 6 inches in my truck the whole time. I think I picked these things up like, I don't know, a year ago. Tells you how long I've been working on this project. Those 2x4s are gonna go, so see how this is all on the same plane? All my bracing and my 8-foot dividers. If you look up through there, you can see that rafter is not totally in line. So in order to nail my siding to the very top, I'm going to use my 2x4s to bring everything on the same plane, this included. And then, if I have enough lumber, which I doubt I will, I want to start putting in the window casings. window on the back side, and maybe I might make it like a Dutch door, you know, the ones that split in half. Old houses had them in the kitchens. So a window here in this big opening, one over there, likely one right there, possibly one in the door. And I don't know, well, I'm definitely not gonna have enough wood, but I might put one on the back side there. I'd love to put a window up there. I just don't know how to go about that. So, all right, that's enough talking for me. That's a lot. Let's get to nailing some 2x4s up there, see what happens. All right, this always happens. I'm putting up that one board and I'm like, ooh, I have an idea. And that sounds way more fun than putting up more of those boards. So that's what we're doing. Up into the mezzanine. Okay, I can put a window here. I don't think that, oh, I wish this was a little wider, but I'm gonna put in a header right there. A couple jack studs, a couple king studs out of my 2x4s, and I'm gonna be able to put a window right there. I love that. You know, it'll be right here. This is the sill. I've got it mapped out right here where my jacks and kings need to go. I've got an extra 2x6 for a header, and I got a whole pile of those. So I mean, I guess I just get sidetracked so easily. It seems fun. Let's do it. That guy is, yes, it's the same width as my header, but you're gonna see I'm gonna take this column out, so I need something to brace it, you know, before I do that. This guy is now going to go in the opening. 46 and 3/8. So the reason I only put one nail in there is so I can do this. That's right at 46. I was trying to be cute with my little vlog camera, but we had to switch over to the big guns here. So, boom, got my header in there. I'm going to cut this out now. I cut it as far as I could with my circular saw, but hand saw that out, cut that out, and then frame this window in. I'd love to finish this morning. One reason I cut through it with the circular saw and then the hand saw, pro tip, notice how my saw never got pinched. That tells me all the load is on here now. None of the load is on here, so I'm safe to take that out. Just a quick tip. This is much better. I'm able to keep am I shaking you? I'm able to keep my roof structure the way it was and the way I like. And I'm able to have a window up here, which is gonna be sweet because it's mezzanine. Here, the other thing it's gonna do is remember how I talked about in the first section, or maybe the second, or maybe the third? I talked about not wanting a ton of weight on this right here. As it stood, most of that weight was boom right there in the center. Now we're moving it out 38 inches, so it's gonna be sitting more on those braces than it was, which is nice. So that is my jack. This is gonna go there. Nice. We're just beefing this up, and this, if we rewind, this is going back to what we were originally doing, which was this piece right here is gonna be where our siding butts up. So, yes, I took a small detour, but at the end of the day, it's still kind of doing the same thing. Here's how I like to do these. That guy. We're gonna bring it right to our mark. I'm gonna toenail it from the outside, so from this side, and I'm only gonna put like a couple in there because most of what's gonna hold this together is our siding that comes up the outside there. So I like to toenail it, then get it square, pop that in the top, and away we go. Okay. Sweet. I really like that. All right, now check it out. Here we go. 38.5, love it. And 38.5. We're not leaving today until we get this sucker framed in. That's a perfect spot for, check it out. You can put plants up here. That's gonna be awesome. It'll open out that way. All right, 46. $38.5, $38.5. Alrighty, so there we go. That thing is framed in. It's perfectly square, which is pretty amazing for this project, but I'm really happy with the way it turned out. A window is ready to go in there, and actually this whole side is ready for siding because I attached my little nailers there. So we're ready for siding over here, and we're gonna continue to go around the barn and do this kind of stuff, and then we'll do one big video, I think, of, you know, all the siding, and then boom, all the roofing. And then from there, it's just kind of making it look pretty. All right, we'll see you next time. As cool as the mezzanine was and is, I was still getting up there with a step ladder. I decided maybe it was time for some stairs. Now these are temporary, so don't judge me too hard. See what I mean? It's it's more of a ladder than it is a, I mean, it's not bad. Okay, so we're back, and I'm not procrastinating so much this time as I am trying to prepare for the future, because I need to put in more window frames, and I need to keep doing this siding, bracing, like you saw in the last video. But I've only got this one A-frame ladder, and I'm moving it 100 times, so I'm gonna put in some stairs. That's what I'm getting at here. I'm putting in some stairs, and I'm using the tried and true method from the Perkins brothers. They have a lot of good stuff, like you've seen me reference in the past. And I was just messing around. Let me grab my jig. I was just messing around with this super easy technique where you figure out how many stairs you need, and then you create this little jig. And listen, watch the video. It's a lot better than me explaining it. I have my stringer laid out, and this is not your ordinary staircase. It's gonna be really steep with 11-inch risers. So I think comfortable risers are like between 7 and 8. This is up there a little bit. This staircase is like the one you see at your granny's house. It's like really sketchy to go up and down, but it's not temporary, but I'm gonna start with this and see how we do. The other thing is I want it to be short enough where I can actually fold it up, because it's gonna go right in front of a window. So when I want the window open, I don't know what else, I wanna have the option to just raise it up, and then it'll be out of my way. So let me cut this stringer. I'm then gonna use this one as a template for that one. Well, I'm gonna make sure it fits and then use it as a template. I don't know, it's a Sunday afternoon, and I'm just kinda doing my thing, so. All right, let's put this over there and see if it fits. This is where it's going. So, window here, right? Stairs kind of here, mostly because it's kind of the only spot for them. So, see what I mean? It's more of a ladder than it is a. Well, at least I know it fits, but The more I look at it, the more I think it's gonna be a temporary solution. I don't think this is gonna be the end all be all. And I don't think, so it'd be cool if I could fold these up out of the way, but I don't know. 103 to right there, 126. So if they fold those up, not even close, son of a gun. All right, let's cut another one of these.
Liberates me from my winter hell. I've got candles and candy. I can be your daddy if you only let me creep into your prison cell. Hey baby, can you tell I'm not a criminal? Your choice is seminal. I want you to stay true.
All right, this, boom. Okay, this is gonna be one of those crawl on your hands and knees to the top type of staircases. But nice thing is, 2x6s for the treads, and check it out. Depending on where that window ends up, these might be in the way. I don't know. I'm a little all over the place with this particular set of stairs, mostly because I've never done it. But ideally, like a spiral staircase would be cool. Don't know how to build those. Okay, let's cut some treads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 of them. Plus, yeah, 9 of them. Okay. Three more. I think I might be able to get it out of this. All right, where's my stringers? Let's see, so what I'm gonna do is tack my top and bottom spacers, dividers, whatever you wanna call them together. Let's see, no, that goes here. Son of a gun, these are bigger than I thought. It's all right. Oh, come on. All right, there's you. Do the bottom. Okay, like it. Oh, all right. Yeah. All right. What's wrong with this? All right, we gotta get it. We're running out of daylight. Oh. Be able to, ooh. I need like a shim under there. Like the ground's not flat, so. It's just a little placekeeper. Right, so. Hey, all right. All right, I got this little top plate here to plug on. Well, that'll work. All right, so there we have it. I mean, It's not bad. If you're not afraid of steep staircases, it's wonderful. I don't know, I think it's gonna be temporary personally. I think there's a better solution, but honestly, I'm not mad at this. And saves my ladder a little bit of moving around, so. Cool, took about an hour. Sun's going down. What a day. So there's the staircase, got the job done. I'm happy with the way it turned out. This'll work for now. Again, we're gonna do like railings and a better staircase and metal incorporated when this thing's all said and done, but for now, this is gonna save me a few trips with the ladder, and it's not the sexiest staircase in the world, but it is what it is. We'll see you next time. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of these builds. I'm gonna try to put out a few more videos every week just to kind of make them a little more easier to digest, because actually, let me know, do you like 20, 25 minute videos, half-hour videos, or something like this where it's, you know, under 10? Winter's coming and we gotta get this done. We'll see you next time.
Creep into your prison cell. Hey baby, can you tell I'm not a criminal?
So with the stairs complete, I still needed to knock out the rest of my window casings, and I had some leftover 2x4 material, so I decided just to plug it in and really make this thing structurally sound, because like, I mean, you can't really be too sturdy, right? All right guys, welcome back to the channel. Hey listen, if you're new here, I'm Sam and I'm building this barn. I'm doing it all by myself. I actually have step-by-step videos in basically everything I've done so far. Today's video is gonna be a continuation on the window frames, which I've been procrastinating. As you can see, we're about a month later and it's cold out, but I still need to get them done. Windows, then siding, then roof. Those are the steps I'm taking. So, I just went to the mill, I picked up some beautiful lumber. They had just milled it this morning. It's frozen, but I mean, whatever. I don't think that matters completely. Blue's helped me, of course, and we're gonna finish up our window frames. So one's gonna go here. I still need to put one up in the top. That's probably the one I'll do first just because it's gonna suck the most. That's our door right there. So we don't have to worry about that so much, but another one's gonna go there, and then on the back side, I've been toying with the idea of a Dutch door, but I might just go window now for the winter and then tackle that project later on in life. We'll see. Let's get after it. I mean, kind of nice to be out here working on this thing again, so happy to have you along. All right, hey, look what I do for you people, okay? Can you see that? 11 degrees out. That's Fahrenheit, that's not Canadian. It's cold out, but check it out. So I wanna show you, if you look up there, that's the window I just did, and then I actually knocked out another one. So this is like your standard, again, this is unconventional framing, but this is like your standard window with like the top and bottom 2x4s. And then let me take you up here and I can show you kind of what I did for the top windows, because it's a little different. So with this guy, of course there's no siding, but you know, this is the window opening. It's actually 46 by 38.5. And then I had to figure out how to line everything up so my sheathing would be flush. And that'll make more sense once we tackle it, but check it out. So we've got the side of the frame there, and then a 2x4 tacked on. That's where the sheathing's gonna go. So it lines up, and then another cross piece to finish it off. And I had these pillar supports for my ridge beam when I originally did that, which I then cut. You can see they're doubled up. I cut and then slipped in this kind of like truss support. So without going into too much detail, that's just kind of like what it looks like, and it's load bearing and all that good stuff. Now, did the same thing over there, which you saw. That one was a little harder because I was up on the ladder. And actually, the reason I cut off the footage was because I made it 46 inches wide instead of 46 inches tall, so it didn't actually, you know, fit where I wanted it to originally. But That's all squared away. Let's go down the stairs and I'll show you what we're doing today. So what we're doing today in this frigid temperature is I'm gonna show you how to frame, just like on the opposite wall, one of these easy, just like regular old square window casings. This should only take 20 minutes or so. My lumber's frozen, so the nail gun, shout out to Milwaukee, that thing is putting up a good fight. And I guess we'll see what happens when it all eventually cures and dries and all that good stuff. I'm gonna try my best to take you through step by step. If I miss anything, or if you have any like ideas, let me know down in the comments. Again, this is just my kind of unconventional way of throwing windows in. The sheathing's gonna take care of most of the structural stability, so don't worry too much about that. This is the last one, and then we move on to the fun stuff. So let's get after it. All right, so first things first, I want, this window's gonna go in the center of this wall, ½ inch. So one thing I've already done is measured this on the other side. Actually, what I'm gonna do, I say center of the wall, but really I want it to be just on the same mark as the other side, that far side I showed you. So 82 inches is my center, is right in there. And then I'm gonna measure on each side of that for my window opening, and then I'll know where to put my uprights. And remember, these are rough window openings, so don't get too carried away with getting them perfect. We'll shim the windows and all that business later on in life here when we come around to installing those. For now, I'm just marking them. Shout out to anybody who works outside in the winter. It's just like I'm good except for my hands. My freaking hands get so cold. All right, now my uprights are gonna go right here. What's nice is I just have 8-foot 2x4s, and remember I made this 8 feet, so I'm gonna notch out a 2x4 slot on each side and tack it in place. Pretty slick. All right, now notched. So that's gonna go up here. Oh, no it's not because my log's in the way. Oh, I gotta shave a hair off. About 1 inch. So what I like to do, now this has got to be an upright and it's got to be square. So I'm actually just going to tack it. And because this thing isn't square, because it's made out of logs like we've talked about, I can't just measure from the bottom over and get this thing up and down and get this thing straight. So we're going to come in with our level. Bingo. Now, we'll tack that in place and we know it's straight up and down. Whoa. I think it has to do with this stuff being frozen. Sweet. All right. Now that that's there, I can measure over, and I'll know these things will be parallel. Look at that, lovely. Tack it, pray for no explosions. Find my mark, double check, lovely, lovely. Tack it. All right, now I'm ready for my top plate, my sill, and once that's done, we'll throw in a header. Sweet, so top plate is in. We should be good carpenters and make sure it's square, which it is. Here's where I butchered the other one, so let's get this right. Measure down, 46. It goes below that mark, not above. Screw that up too, I suppose. Gonna go right there. It's a pretty piece of wood for our sill. Lovely. All right, sturdy bottom plate. Check for squirrels. Oh, jeez. All right, close enough for government work, as they say. Okay, so now I'm gonna come in here with a 2x6, tack that. That's my convincer. This is the right length, it's just tight. Really? What in the heck, dude? All right, that's it, dude. We're done. All right, guys, I hope you liked this video. I hope it was informative. I know I'm kind of scatterbrained and all over the place. You know, I'm building this barn for the first time, and I just wanted to take you with me and show you how I did it. If you have any comments, please let me know. If you've built a barn like this, let me know if you've got any tips or tricks for me. Whew, my mouth's not working very good because it's so cold out. Either way, next time you'll see me, we are gonna be headed to the lumber yard for sheathing for this thing. Board and batten, it's gonna look primo, just like an old barn. Until then, hit the subscribe button, like it, share it with your friends. We'll see you next time. So with that all done, as you can tell, the weather was still getting in my barn. Without walls or a roof, not really anything but a, I don't know, thing that's pretty to look at. Made my way to Lowe's and got me some OSB sheathing for the sides of this bad boy. Hi, Lucy.
I can tell you my problems, meditating my silence. But I keep pushing my pen, rotating my stylus. Brokenness feeling like sin, now no Creflo dollar. Used to be left on red, now all the girls go holler. Now all the girls go follow. All the fake fans gon' pile up. I need peace to borrow, get that shit right back tomorrow. Somehow all the fans go bravo. Smile so much to hide my sorrows. Faith is shaky in vibrato. I can't hold a frown too long. I can't stay down too long. Look, running from pain, running from strain, running from things, running from schemes. I can't hold a frown too long.
All right, guys, welcome back. First of all, I want to give a huge shout out for the people who left comments, because my plan was originally to do this entire thing in board and batten, and I was calling that like my structural shear strength thing that was gonna kind of hold everything together. Turns out, I know this is true for Greenwood because that's what I had talked about. You actually only nail it on one side. Excuse me, Crow. You actually only nail it on one side, and so it doesn't actually add any kind of structural stability or shear strength. So I popped online, and guess what was only $10 a sheet? Under that baby is 32 sheets of 7/16 OSB, which, if you saw the opening clip, I had to unload it last night because guess what? It snowed. So I'm actually really pumped about that, the fact that I have that. I mean, that is like ideally the way to do it. Like, that's how you do a regular house. So that OSB, we're actually just gonna sheet the entire barn in that, and that's gonna give us our structural stability and our shear strength. Very excited about that. I will, I think the first thing I wanna do is just start putting it up here. I'm not gonna bother cutting out the windows or anything. I'm just gonna start laying it in. It's 8 feet. I was smart enough to make my cross members at 8 feet, so we should be in good shape. I'll probably just set up some time lapses, so enjoy that. I'll check back in when it's time to do the windows and some of the upper stuff that's gonna get a little more technical. But I don't know, I'm just pumped. I'm excited. This is like kind of like building a real house all of a sudden. Right, Blue? All right, let's do it. All right, I'm happy with where we are now. So I've got all of the OSB on everything except for that top section. Now for that, I put in some, I'll try and zoom in, but I put in some, I guess you'd call them nailers up there. And then the entire window casing is also flush with the outside. So I think what I'm gonna do, I'm in pretty good shape as far as how much OSB I have left. So I'm gonna cut some 6-foot sections to lay in. So the entire window frame has one piece of OSB on it, and then I'll fill in those other 2 little triangles there. And I think that's gonna be the best way to do it. All right, so one of the bonuses, because I don't have the roof on yet, is I don't have to cut these angles to fit the space. So really what I'm gonna do here is just cut out the notch for my ridge beam and then just put it in place. Then I'll probably run a chalk line right along the rafters to find my angle. All right, so the peak's done. I'm gonna do the other side real quick. I can't really show it because it's kind of like in the woods. Once I do that, we'll be right back and I'm gonna show you how to cut out the windows. Probably the easiest way that I know how to do it. Okay, all you need is a drill bit and your circular saw. You'll do it from the outside. Okay, so this is how I like to do windows, just cutting them out. I don't love the jagged edge of, a lot of people will use like a Sawzall to come in here and you end up kind of like dorking up your frame a little bit. So what I do, I take a drill bit. This is a drill bit that came with a floating shelf kit I bought. It's long, I guess is really the only reason I'm using it. I basically like to just rest the drill bit in this nook of your window frame and then drill a hole. And then drill a hole straight through the OSB to the outside. So we're gonna do that for all 4 corners. You can see when you use this method, this acts like a square, right? So you get a perfectly straight hole. And it's right flush with the corner of this sill and that upright. And then you can come to the outside and you've got your 4 holes here. And then you're just gonna take a straight edge. I'm gonna use this drywall square, but you could totally use just an edge of your OSB. And then line up the outside of the holes and draw a straight line. And what's cool is this line is exactly flush with the inside of that frame. And then boom, mark all 4 of them. There's your window, cut them out with your circular saw, and you've got a perfectly flush window frame that you can then nail. Pretty slick, I like it. I just think that's the easiest way to do it. Love it.
The storm is coming, but I'm prepared. I'll be gone.
So the sides are done. The sheathing is done. The snow's not getting in the sides of the barn, but it sure as heck is getting in the top. So it's time for a roof. All right, so I went to Lowe's yesterday and here's what I got for roofing. This is that 2 foot galvanized, well, it's 2 feet wide and 12 feet tall, but it's that galvanized roofing material that a lot of people use for kind of like modern farmhouse projects these days. It's pretty thin, but it's pretty darn cheap. I also got some drip edge here, and this is the stuff for the peak. What the heck? Ridge, whatever. Those are actually way more expensive than these, which is dumb because it's like half the material. So first thing we got to do is get this stuff out of the back of my truck so I can go about my day. And hopefully this morning we'll have time to put up a couple panels. It's gonna be a little tricky to film just because it's up high and I can't like drone and also install roof panels, but I'll do my best. And I've never done this before, so I don't know, should be fun. All right, here's the screws I'm using. So they make 2 different kinds of these. One has like a sharp point at the end, and one has a self-tapping mechanism. I'm going metal to wood, so corrugated metal to wood. So that's what I'm using. If you're doing metal to metal, I guess you use a different kind, but pretty slick. For my trip up the roof, I'm packing pretty light. I've emptied out my tool belt. I want to go as light as possible just so I don't have anything weighing me down, and it's obviously less stuff that can get caught on anything. This inherently is a bit of a sketchy exercise here, so we want to be as careful as we can. So I'm just bringing my tool belt, and I'm going to bring obviously screws with me over here. A few handfuls of those this morning. I'm going to use my smallest impact with, what is that, 5/16 on the end or 1/4 inch, whatever these are. That's going to go in this pocket. So I literally just have my screws in my gun and a pair of gloves so I can grip. And one other thing I got suggested by a roofer, a friend of mine, a good pair of footwear. You want to have good grip. I'm not going to be walking on the roof per se, but I want to have something that I trust on my feet that's not going to like fall off my foot or get caught on anything. So here we go. As you can see, I've set my purlins. Those are the pieces that stretch from rafter to rafter. Those are 48 inches apart, and there's 4 of them going up the 12-foot rafters. I'm going to install 3 screws in each panel at each purlin. So that's 12. Well, except for that one. 12 screws in each panel should give me plenty of holding power, but also I don't want too many holes because I want as few leaks as possible. You'll see these screws have a rubber washer, but still. All right, this is as far as we got this morning. A little trial and error. We got 4 panels on. I bunged one of them up pretty good. See that corner? Yeah. That slid off and hit this tree. So, sorry tree. And as you can see, we've got a little excess, which we're actually gonna zip off once we put the faceplate and all that business on. It's cool. So after my little slip up with that one roof panel on the end, which I'm not too worried about, I went inside and I grabbed a squeeze clamp. As you can see, I just clamped the panel to the purlin. Then I'm able to kind of adjust it, get it square, and then screw it down with both my hands still free. I think if I were to do this again, I probably would have pre-drilled the holes in the galvanized roofing. I've seen other builders do that, and you'll see when I whack the end of the impact driver, I'm just basically piercing the galvanized steel so I'm able to get the screw through it. My process is essentially screwing in the top 3 purlins and then leaving that bottommost purlin unattached because I want to combine my drip edge and that last row all in one fell swoop. So I just have one single line of screws across the bottom edge and everything is nice and attached. And one last note about installing these screws, because this is a thinner galvanized steel, I'm finding if I over tighten them, it ends up warping the ridges a little bit. So I'm essentially just screwing them in tight enough where that washer seals up, but it doesn't bend the metal.
Lucy.
Hi.
Alright, so my time-lapse gave up on me, and this is all I have left. But, I don't know, I think from the beginning of it, you can kind of get the gist of it. Anyway, I am going to put on, well, I put on some drip edge on the backside before I did this little extra bit here. I know I should have done the drip edge first before I put any roofing on, really, if I was going to use it, but I think that's just kind of order of operations. I didn't have the, what do you call it, fascia soffit? Didn't have this board yet. The board that goes right here. I just put up some OSB as kind of a placeholder. Yeah, my drip edge just isn't straight, and every barn around town that I look at doesn't even have any. So, I mean, I bought it, so I think I'm gonna use it, but like, I may end up just scrapping it. I don't really know. The snow's gone, it's gorgeous out, so we're gonna put on that piece, and then call it good. One thing I am missing though is about a foot of, right there, about a foot of ridge cap. Hopefully I can just bum some of that off a contractor I know. Yeah, so I guess let's put those pieces on and then throw some drip edge up, because why not? There's gotta be a better way to cut this stuff. I've heard people say put a skill saw blade on backwards. I feel like that would just smoke my blade. I can't do 24 feet of this stuff like this, so I suppose I gotta figure something out. Well, that works. A whole lot cleaner. It's a horrible noise though.
The storm is coming, but I'm prepared. I'll be gone for a while, but don't be scared. Right now, I don't know if I'll ever arrive. Where the grass is green, we're still alive. I hope I'll see you on the other side.
All right, well there you have it. One tin roof on the barn. I'm definitely not worried about it flying away, but I also don't think I'm gonna win any awards for how well I did. If it keeps the rain out, I guess that's all I really care about. Oh, also next time, either windows or siding. I haven't decided which. Cue the drone footage.
Black hole to make myself whole again. You want the truth in your head.
Now, I probably could have gotten away with just leaving this the way it was. OSB sheathing and we're crooked here, folks. With the OSB sheathing on it, but like it's not that pretty. So I've always wanted to do some board and batten siding, hence the next section, the siding. on, Lucy. So, just went to pick up the boards for our board and batten siding that's going on the barn. Got a rough idea about how big this thing is. And I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna kind of take the width of the barn and the depth of the barn and multiply it by however much wood I think I need. So I told the guy, I'm like, I don't know exactly, I'd rather have too much than too little. So I'm gonna go 100 boards of the 10-inch 1x10 and 100 boards of the 1x4. All right, well, this is what we roll in with. Yeah. I was like, can I take this all in one load? I don't know, I mean, it fits. Well, it's pretty wet, but this is, that's our load anyway. Hopefully we've got enough here. I suspect if I do go back for more, it won't be quite this extreme. And I think he threw in a little bit extra. So again, this is the 1 inch by 10 inch, 12 foot long. This is all just rough cut pine, and that's 1 inch by 4 inch on top, 12 to like say 14 foot long. He did, look, he gave me a little, like when you go to just like a local sawmill, something that's not too corporate, you're bound, like this stuff will happen. Like I wanted 10, I wanted 12 footers, and he's, you know, there's some 12 footers, there's some 14 footers, there's some 16 footers in there. The more the merrier. Now, I could attempt to unload this with the excavator. I don't know exactly how I do it. It's really freaking heavy. The way board and batten works is I actually need the 10-inch first, and that's on the bottom. So this afternoon's chore is to unload it all, stack it down here next to the barn, and yeah, I'm gonna do it all by hand. But it's a beautiful day, it's a good workout, so let's do it. Two and a half hours later, there it is. There's the 1x10 and the 1x4. Yeah, I kind of wish I had a forklift, to be honest with you, but I don't. There it is. I've got it covered up with what I have. I like hesitant to tarp it because I think you're supposed to kind of let it dry, but we are supposed to get some rain. Again, we're kind of like under this cover, so we'll let Mother Nature help us out with the rain and I just get our butts in gear, get the windows in, and throw this up. So next up, we will install it. That's the exciting part. Stay tuned. Some people will put up all the 10-inch and then all the battens. I just find I get kind of bored with that, so I end up doing, you know, a few boards and then a few battens, see how it looks, see where I need to straighten things out, and then just go from there. So why don't we work our way down? And when we get to the window, that's kind of the exciting part here. The board and batten goes pretty quickly. The windows take a little extra time, but I've got a nice little trim package that I've been using with just kind of, you know, the 1x4 with a sill. So it looks pretty sharp. So we got a lot of this to put up, so let's work our way across and we'll meet you at the window. Okay, so I've got my two side pieces here. Now these are the same height as my window.
So these guys get screwed in first. All right, so top piece should span, there we go. Oh, I was close with my screws. So I could just actually put this in here like that, a 1x2 that I can put on top of here. I'm actually just going to brad nail this on there and then screw it in place. So I think what I'm gonna do is knock out the rest of these battens, and then we'll see what we can do about this top section and see how we can film it, hopefully. We'll put one more piece over there, and then we'll work our way all the way across. We're gonna do the same window frame as we did for the last one, same as that guy. We can pretty much just keep on going based on this one piece that we put in with a flush top. All right guys, so as we finish up this process, I do want to let you know that I did recently put out a more informational kind of step-by-step video as it pertains to the board and batten process and what that all looks like. This video I wanted to make more vlog-ish, just to kind of give you a quick overview of the process that I went through to get this thing sided. For this video, I just wanted to give you kind of a snapshot of the process and the time that it took me to put up this siding, and as you'll notice, I do end up putting some stain slash finish on this, and I'll try to get that video out today. I found a product that I really like and I'm really happy with the result. So if you're into this kind of oldish wooden barn kind of weathered look, this video is going to be for you. So I will do my best to link both of those videos down in the description. I do hope you liked this video. If you want to do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and or share it with anybody who might also be interested in it. We will see you on the next one. All right, with the board and batten complete, insert my new favorite stain. This one's quick. You're almost to the end. You can do it. I'll see you in a second. All right guys, real quick, I just wanted to make a super fast video. You know, when I find something I like to share it with you guys so you can use it also. I just got done staining my barn. So the siding's complete and I threw some stain on it, and this is what I use. This is called Eco Wood Stain. Now, this is not a sponsored video. In fact, it was a little tricky for me to get my hands on some of this. This is made by our northern brothers in Canada, and for whatever reason, they didn't want to send me some, so I had to find it on Amazon, which I'll link below. But anyway, why do I like this so much? It's super easy. It comes as a bag of powder, which you can just mix in a 5-gallon bucket. This particular package is actually made to mix 5 gallons. I think they also make bags that mix 2.5 and maybe even just 1 gallon if that's all you need. You pour it into the bucket, you fill it halfway with water, you use an agitator. I had one that was left over from a drywall project, so I just used that. It mixes up super easy. This one is actually the black version, so it comes with a small bottle of black stain additive that just gives it a darker look. So as you can see, my barn is it's pretty dark with the black windows, so I wanted a kind of a darker, less contrasty color to the siding. I actually ended up only using half of the provided black ink or stain, I guess you would call it. I think if I used the whole thing, it would have gotten really, really dark, and I still wanted just, you know, a little bit of balance there with the windows. The beauty about this is you actually put it in a pump sprayer and spray it on, similar to like spraying Roundup, but it's so fast. I did the whole barn, I think, in just under 2 hours. That included prepping the surface, brushing it off, and then, like I said, you just spray it on and just let it sit. It can drip, it doesn't matter. The drips don't show up. It all just kind of soaks in, and it gives it this cool silvery patina. They claim that you only need to do this once and that it protects against rot, insects and, you know, kind of anything that a normal deck stain might. I don't know, I'll probably build another barn at some point and use it. But anyway, yes, so this is the Eco Wood Stain out of Canada, and it looks like they've got a website right there if you guys want to check it out. And again, I'll link the Amazon link down below. So I'm guessing I'm gonna have a few questions because this is gonna come after the siding video that I just put out. So if you haven't watched that, check it out. That gives you the whole rundown of me putting up the board and batten and whatever else. And obviously I hit it with the stain at the end. So like and subscribe, guys, and we'll see you on the next one. Hey, stop, leave it. All right, and that's that. The complete construction of a timber frame barn. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me for this long. If you made it this far, you've made it to the end, do me a solid, comment, "We made it," in the comments below so I know you made it all the way through. If this is something you enjoyed, please share it. I'd love to get some more traction on this video. I put a lot of hard work into this barn and I'm really excited with the outcome. If there's something else you want me to make, let me know in the comments. This is just the beginning of some of my outdoor buildings that I plan on making. So with that, I want to thank you guys again. Don't forget to subscribe and we'll see you on the next one. Just gotta plane that out. Don't worry about that. Come on, dogs, let's go.